Well, hello everyone, Dylan here. Happy Throwback Thursday, and the rotation leads us to an Elves review, and this was on the Water Dragon Adventure, which from 2016, of course. So on the front of the one manual, have the Lego Elves logo and picture of the set in a flying position, and also the more unique border from the time with the main bunch, but also with a couple dragons as well. And then also set number 41172. And then went on the online survey. And then advertisement for the free app from the time. And then advertisement for most of the sets from the time. And these two of which upcoming Throwback Thursdays. And then little like side-by-side pictures showing the story of it. And then a little group picture of the whole Elves group and the dragons there, and the pieces that come with the set, of course. And then the last building steps. So first off, for the mini dolls in this case, which is the later version of Nida, the water elf, which with the quite nice solid regular blue or darkish blue kind of coloring for both the torso and the upper part of the legs, of which quite nice for that. And then also some quite nice foot printing as well, almost a little different than the year prior one to that, obviously. And then the face printing, almost like the one from the year prior, but at least good to see some of the printings carry on to this. And also same with the side arm printing there as well. And also, and of course, holding a tile piece that is obviously different, another kind of map piece, leading with the dragon egg, and then to the Regana's castle that was in the wave. Yeah. And then hairpiece, also same as from the year prior to that, which good to see carry on into this year. And yeah, and that is about it with Nida. And now on to the set. First of which, for the little accessories, are just these few pieces, like these two that are just the flower pieces in green, and also flat studs in just in regular lime green, obviously to be like little lily pads or whatever, or what's an actual lily pad is this little assembly that is just of a green dish piece and a couple flower pieces in between, and also an inverted curved slope to give it sort of the wobbly effect like it's on the water. And yeah, and that is about it there. And now on the first part, which is this little little extra build that just has a lot of unique pieces onto it, and also pretty much just a bit of Land of Elvendale for that. And of course, and also like the mines set the year prior, there was some translucent pieces on this as well. So first of which, where it's all resting on this tan plate on here with this rounded plate that's like a little bit of grass to it, and then even though this upper plate and also a couple bricks here are like extra land there, you have translucent yellow minifig head, and also heart piece in trans blue. Nice to see that. And also some trans pink clear kind of peak bricks there, although kind of feeling like the Emerald Mines set from the year prior, but luckily nice to have it to carry on into this following year as well. And also one thing is that if you tip this up or lift this part up, which is kind of hard, yeah, and then got a set of gold binoculars that fits in there quite well, and got kind of a nice hidden feature for that. And then the little upwards is this little brush piece, which still from Friends, of course. And then also on the sides are a few jagged slopes in translucent light blue obviously represent water, and clear slopes also to be like to have flowing water for that, and also catapult piece, but in blue for that. And also what you do with those pieces from earlier is take that in and then just fling them right off, and obviously making it look like Nida's trying to swoosh with the water or control the water for that. And so nice to see some extra bits going on in there. And last part of this build is this mini tree build, kind of bit reminiscent, and of course kind of close to like most trees in Lego, just with the curved jagged slopes and also great ones as rock bits as well. And of course that does go upwards, and then also do have these like couple leaf pieces, two in lime green and one in darkish pink, and also these two gem pieces in trans purple. Nice to see there. And I don't know, not much to say, but also some curved slopes holding them in, of course. So not much else to say there, but I guess that's about it with this part of the set. And now on to the dragon. And now on to the main part of this set, which is Marina the Water Dragon, which, as you see from first glance, well, best example of how all these dragons in the Elves theme kind of goes like, which quite different than the ones that were in the Vikings theme a decade prior to them, but also how different of which where it's just plate heavy and also just a few pixel ball joints since the Mixel sets were out like 2 years prior to this, and of course those ball joint pieces did get carried on to a whole lot of sets as well. The first of which for the headpiece, which this headpiece was also used on most of the set, on all the dragons and elves, and also had similar looking ones on some of the other large animal sets of the theme. And of course, and obviously if I take this off there, and of course all connected with a single Technic axle rod piece on there, which connects to that one on there. So although this you can definitely use with some other attachment bits and use on like construction mocking if you wanted. Let me get that on. There we go. And then also the printing's quite nice for how that is, unless if you like figuring out how to erase that and put different kinds to use on your mocks to not have it related to elves. But yeah. And then as for the like jaw feature, is also like the ones that came in the Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts themes, where you can like open them upwards, and it has two joint or two click points of it. And the lower jaw, which does have a single stud in it, that enables to which with that clip part is for sticking this blue flame piece in it to represent either a tone golden or tone blue fire, or at least a burst of water. Well, either one. And the top part of the head, which has just very few things going on to it, like this a cheese slope there, and also flipper piece and a friend's bow piece there, and also these bull horn or cattle horns on there. But also if I take these two apart, and also this a little extra accessory part to it. Struggling with also get this little piece here, which has half a lightsaber bar piece, and also a certain spot where you can attach friends accessories into. But in the Avengers 3 Infinity War theme was used to hold Infinity Stone pieces onto there. So however, so this piece very useful for mocking, and also this might have been the first wave to include that piece for that. And of course, workable with minifigs with flippers, or wearing ski pieces to attach to studs. And of course, kind of well thought through in this case. And on to the main body of which, which is kind of a bit heavy with a few with some snot techniques kind of for the chest, and then also those tooth pieces in azure blue color, which you kind of get a lot of on this set although I'm sure this Azure blue color did carry on from Generation 2 Golly of Bionicle that was also out at this time. And also on the back part, which is a smooth tile piece, and also a rounded tile piece to be with the water symbol on it, and of course with that little panel piece on there where you can sit Nida onto as well. And then also have this curved slope that has a few bumpy scale parts, but just as a sticker for that, and then carries on into the tail. But also which has these like wing pieces that were used on some dragon sets the year prior, but these are which like downsized versions, but dually molded of Azure blue and trans purple for that. Quite nice for that. And also gem pieces put onto them there. And onto the 4 legs of which the main builds are all kind of the same. Well, mainly the front legs that there are, with 2 of these tooth pieces, and then also the ones with the like kind of with just one, and also with some like sloping around it to give sort of the like double D kind of look to it. And then all 4 feet all the same, but with these stickers that have sort of scaly look to it, and also with those plates or tooth plates. It's to be like the front claws of them. And then also you have sort of reverse tile or smooth inverted reverse tiles for probably to stand easily on any surface for that. So that is kind of a nice touch. And lastly is the tail here, which made of just like few mixel joint pieces and some curved slopes in the Azure color with some stickers on them with purple scales there, and then also ending off with these bat wing pieces that were first introduced in Chima, but now in purple. Good to use for mocking, of course. And not much to say there, but yeah. So as for articulation here is quite good for that. Like the wings can pivot up and downwards and sideways, and also the all 4 legs have like movement at both the hip and at the ankles. Also for that, and then the tail kind of has 3 different points and go all around to that, and of course the tail wings can flop up and downwards, and the head does have 2 joints in the neck for that, and obviously can move the mouth open as well. So the articulation of this one really good for how it is, and kind of same with some of the other dragons of the Elves theme. But yeah, and that's about it with Marina. And now on to the verdict. So for my overall verdict, I think this is a really good set for how it is. Like, despite not having any extra mini dolls of it, and of course Nida, which is important to this set, I say quite good for that. And also this, which was obviously a good cheap way to get Nida, well, this version of Nida. And also for the Dragon of Marina, which quite good for how she is. And of course, kind of probably the smallest, easiest to get sampling of the theme if you weren't going to bother with much of the theme. And whereas with a good consistent color scheme of mainly azure and lavender, well, and also some bright blue and purple, or dark blue and purple here and there, and despite having some light and dark gray sticking out for that, but it's just how mixel joints are like then. And whereas for the side build, which doesn't provide plain like extra bits to it, like the catapult and the hidden binoculars, so at least there's plenty good playability to that. And also to mention that Marina does have some good swooshability onto her, which like with most of the dragons of the Elves theme. But yeah, and of course, whereas pieces wise, this is also a good parts pack of pieces. Like you get both the Chima bat wings and also the large dragon wings, just recolored and such. So, and also some trans blue jagged slopes for the side build, which quite good for how that is. So, as for the $20 to $25 that it was back in 2016, I say really good for how it is. But yeah, well, and with inflation, it might be a lot more, but whatever. At least I can still kind of forgive it. And I'm pretty sure that in 2016 was a great one, and nowadays still quite is. But yeah. And what else to say? Not much, but yeah. And now, if for any of you who still have this set from back in the day, well, I hope you had some good memories of it. And for those of you who haven't and are still looking to get this set, I say definitely pick it up. eBay, Bricklink, Mercari, Bricks and Minifigs, whatever. And that's about it with this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.